Hello guys, this is Ronyan and welcome to Ronyan Plays The Long Dark on Interloper. I'm going to be showing a few things and hopefully you can learn something from my playthrough. And I've seen a few different ones, including ones by Jeltaz, which are quite excellent, and I would recommend those to anyone who is interested in doing some long runs in The Long Dark. Most of what I learned was just by organically playing the game and thinking up my own strategies. And I haven't played the game in a couple of months, so it could be pretty rough, but hopefully I will do pretty well this time. We're going to aim for about 30 days survived. And I know in under a week we may have story mode coming out, so I may be thinking about live streaming that. So that will be a lot of fun once that hits, and I think we're going to get a lot of new map releases on the sandbox as well around the same time. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Alright, we're going to save in the new slot here. Interloper, yep. And we're going to be the male this time because I'm not using the voice, and I'm just going to leave it on the default. Not going to use any feats, guys. We're going to go with no bonuses added. You can start the game this way if you so choose, but it will be challenging. It'll be challenging anyways, but particularly with no feats. It's even a little bit colder than it would otherwise be if you had the fire one. No list of things to be done. The day providential to itself, the hour. There is no later. This is later. All things of grace and beauty, such that one holds them to one's heart, have a common provenance in pain, their birth in grief and ashes. That's from Cormac McCarthy in The Road. Alright, and I have spawned right behind a maple sapling, but I can't collect it because I don't have a saw or any means to cut it down. So this is Pleasant Valley. I see the common river, frozen river going through here. Timberwolf doesn't have a feature like this. It does, but it's much more mountainous and going uphill. So okay, here we have some cattails. These are incredibly useful in the early game for food purposes, and they never spoil, never go bad, and you can use the head of them for tinder, so all around a great item to collect while you're trying to find your way early on. Seems like it might be the middle of the day. I'll check that in a minute. Yeah, 6 hours of daylight left, pretty much in the middle of the day, which is a pretty good time to spawn because that's about optimal temperature period, where the temperature is the warmest. Maybe around 4 hours of daylight left is the warmest, 4 or 5. So there's another patch of cattails. Let's run down and get those. So each cattail stalk is 150 calories. So I think I have about 8 of them now, which is pretty good for an opening in Pleasant Valley. Okay, this is a Heartbreak Bridge, maybe. I guess not. It didn't say, but that may have been it. Okay, I do like to run a lot in the early game because it can, until you identify exactly where you are, you need to move as fast as possible to see as much as possible before your temperature drops to a dangerous level and you start freezing over, which is about to happen pretty soon, I think. Okay, so trying to find a landmark here. I don't really, okay, there's a snow trail. But some parts of the maps are really bland, and since you have no navigation at all in this game, it's pretty hard to find your way at times. Okay, our first stick there. That's going to be quite handy once we find enough of those to build a fire. And we got a carcass right here that I can't harvest because it's frozen and I have no tools. But I'll collect the feathers and come back later. Okay, pretty sure I know where I am now. I think the farmstead is pretty near here. Yep, I see off in the distance the tree tops, the rows of trees in front of the farmstead, which I guess is an orchard during the summer, but you never see summer months in this game. At least not yet. So you never get a chance to see that. And that would probably make the game a bit too easy, you know, unless they add a ton of extra predators on the map during summer, which could also make sense. Alright, good cache of sticks here. Let's get all those. You want to collect pretty much as many sticks as you come across in Interloper. It's really an imperative thing to have. But I want to get inside right now, so I'm not going to collect every single one there because I'm already freezing and I don't want to sacrifice more condition than is necessary early on. Man, I hate the way they do these snow trails. The sides are so steep you can't even walk up them. I mean, in real life you could easily just climb that. Okay, not sure what kind of trees these are, but clearly something they were growing during the summer months. Apples maybe, I don't know what grows in the northern Canadian regions, but so this place can be identified by those trees, or if you're coming from the back side it can be identified by the top of that silo right there to the left. Looks like there's a carcass here also. I may check that out in a little while. Let's go into the basement. Get a little bit warmed up. Okay, first box of matches. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. Okay, quickly check through this filing cabinet. It's pretty rare to find something in one of these in Interloper, but you can sometimes. Take a look under everything. There's a whetstone and a metal container here. Anything else? First aid kit often has a sewing kit in it. Sometimes you'll get lucky with a decent piece of clothing in there, but this is just the basic one Fahrenheit maximum bonus. And taking a look around, you really don't want to miss something here because sometimes there can be some pretty decent tool laying around, like a hacksaw or a magnifying glass. I'm just going to carefully look around. I can't afford to waste matches on lighting a fire to look, so I'm just... Okay, there's the quality tools. Yep, good. Now let's get out of here. Don't need the newspaper for now. I've got plenty of tinder from those cattails. So let's go inside the house. Yep. Check the fridge and the freezer. Got some meat for me? No. Let's check through all the cabinet doors here. This takes a little while. See a can opener and the can of Pinnacle peaches. It's pretty good condition, so I'll probably eat those early on. Coffee tin, yes. That is an excellent item to find. Giving that energy and warmth boost at the same time. Coffee's pretty invaluable in this game, especially if you plan on summoning Timberwolf Mountain, which I'm thinking about trying in this run. Okay, got a cedar log there. I already checked the fridge. Short-term memory problems. Okay, open this first aid kit. Nope. And sewing kit. Steal all the water out of the toilets. Good to have that early on. You don't have to light a fire to melt snow and boil it. Nothing under there. Ah, toke. Nice. So it's just a regular book. I'll just use that for fire starting, for a little fire starting percentage bonus. Nothing else around here? No. Let's go into this office room here. Oh, a soda? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Another Pinnacle Peaches. And then there's always a few books on the shelf, so it looks like there's 3 of them here. Open the cabinet, open the desk drawer. First aid kit. Cabinet. And let's do the filing cabinet now. Ah, nothing. Okay, let's go upstairs. Come on, man, give me some clothes. Something decent up here, I hope. Ah, ski jacket, yes. That's very good to find early on. Hoping to find another one of those. Or something similar, which I'm not sure if there is anything comparable to that in Interloper mode. Steal more water out of the toilet, about half gallon is usually what's in there. And we'll go ahead and break down a few curtains here to kind of build up a stock of cloth, which will come in handy. Got to repair our clothes from the base starting condition, particularly if they're below 50%. It's quite a bad thing in Interloper to lose clothes to like normal degradation. %42% and 32%. Not the best. But that's okay. We're gonna drop one of them and repair the other one eventually. Anything else? No, I guess not. No. In here? No. Okay. See if this one has anything. Oh, thermal underwear, that's handy. Even though it's quite very poor condition. Okay. One last drawer here, and I think we're pretty much done with this house. Still fairly cold. About 3 hours of daylight left. Go ahead and put on all our clothes that we can put on. I'm gonna go ahead and repair a couple of these items. The lowest condition items are the best to repair first. And it kind of sucks. You start out with 70% chance of success, but it seems like you can fail 3 or 4 times in a row sometimes with that. See, I've already failed twice in a row there. But as soon as you get it leveled up, it goes to 85%, and that rarely fails. So it's pretty nice to have that done early on in the game. And to repair the ski jacket because of the bonus it gives is huge. Hit it on the first try, 97%. Yep. Not bad. Thinking about sleeping now. Need to drink first. And then maybe eat a little if I need it. I don't really need it too much, but I'll finish that off. Top off my thirst. And let's sleep for whatever this will allow, about 5 hours. I'm going to wake up with a lot of darkness still remaining. We're just going to pass the time for the first night until we can get into the next day. It costs calories, but it's probably the best thing to do at this time. Unless you are really confident about not running into a wolf at night, which I'm not. And I have no light source, so remember that's quite difficult. Also, there's a chance of running into a blizzard at night, which is nightmarish. Okay, we're pretty much into daylight now. Take some more cloth to replace that which we used last night. Okay, that should be good. I think we got one more item we want to repair. I think it's that plaid shirt. I will do the toque too. Yeah, let's repair this and then we'll head out. Head for, not sure if I'm going to go to the barn first or the radio control hut is probably the best because it's closer. And there's a pretty easy route to access radio control hut if you have plenty of stamina. Your rest meter is high, and you can just basically head towards the antenna from the farmstead and kind of veer off to the left and get up there via a climbing rope, a fixed rope. Nothing in this car. Can't access the trunk until I find a crowbar. That can take some time. Probably gonna do some running here because it is very cold and I've got plenty of energy. Pretty nice view there with the sun coming up over Timberwolf Mountain. Or what I guess is supposed to be Timberwolf Mountain in the distance. I'm not actually sure that's the right direction, but maybe so. Okay, I see the moss hanging on the tree over here, the old man beard's lichen, which it's a good idea to collect this early on. Basically, you want to find 6 of these. So you can make 2 of the bandages that will cure both infection risk and blood loss condition effects at the same time. That's quite critical. If you get double wolf attacked, or I've even seen it on a single wolf attack, take double blood loss and double infection risk and have to use both of them on one attack. But if you get double attacked, it also helps for that because sometimes wolves double back on you. Okay, more sticks. And I'm freezing again. Just gonna basically pick up the sticks that are in the path and the way to this climbing rope. The thing you have to watch out here is that there is a bear that will be in this area quite often, so you must avoid this bear if you're coming this route. If you don't, your run will pretty much be over right here. Go get these mushrooms. I see no evidence of the bear anywhere, so that's good news. Let's head over to the climbing rope, which is right on the other side of the cave there. Oh, some berry bushes as well. That's nice. You need 25 berry bushes, and each berry bush gives you 8. Or rose hips, rather. I tend to fall into calling them berry bushes because that's kind of what they look like. But I guess rose hip is a berry too. Okay, this rope is relatively short. It shouldn't drain too much of your energy. But once you get up here, the walk to get to the radio control hut is just within a couple hundred yards. It's really close. So we will sacrifice condition here to get there. A few points. Thinking about whether I should run here. I may do that just to save condition. You can't take the effect of it, and it's not going to be that extreme. I'm probably only going to lose 4 or 5 more points to get there, so I may just let it ride there. Yep, slowly dying, but it takes a few hours. You lose 20% condition per hour when you're freezing. And I'm actually losing 21% right now because I have no calories. And they're running into the tail end of it here because I don't want to drop a lot below 90%. More rose hips is nice. I've got enough of those to make almost 2 cups now of the rosehip tea. Let's go grab this log over here by the fire barrel, and then we'll head inside. Anything in these lockers would be nice. Can't check the other one. Ah, another coffee tin laying in that room. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah. Enough for 10 cups of coffee. That'll do pretty well. And dang it, I accidentally clicked on the workbench. This will freeze the game up for several seconds for whatever reason. But I think only the first time you click on it during a run. Okay, let's see if there's anything in the container here. No. Oh, combat pants. Alright. And work boots. Wow. This is quite good. Oh man, a ski jacket. Yeah, this is way better than I expected here. So put that stuff on. Almost never anything in these cabinets. Almost a waste of time, but there's a slight chance of finding something. And it's best to check if you have a slight chance in this game. It doesn't take a lot of time. Flare, that'll come in handy with navigating through a mine or something like that. 12 matches. I would have hoped to have found another box by now, but maybe there'll be some in the barn. But this was a great stop for clothing, guys. I've never seen, almost never seen that in Interloper. Found that many clothes here. Have to think about what to do with that 38% condition Peaches can. It may not be useful to me now. It may be too high risk. Alright guys, I've survived 21 hours, 36 minutes. Not very long, even for Interloper standards. We've already checked everything here, but I forgot, so I'm gonna look at everything here. And then we will exit and head towards the barn. And then from the barn, I want to head to Coastal Highway, which we'll spend most of our time in for this run. The fishing opportunities there are great, and it really helps you preserve your... It helps you avoid cabin fever, because you can just sometimes fish all the way through the entire day, practically. And it helps you greatly with calories. And what I'm gonna do is read the book for the ice fishing to immediately level up one level, and it dramatically reduces your chance of breaking lines. So I can basically use the same 4 fishing lines for the entire run most of the time. And sort of shoot down this hill. I do like to do a lot of cliff jumping. Sometimes I get hurt, but I've gotten pretty good at it. I rarely do now. In particular, that cliff jump, like going down that cliff, I've done tons of times when I'm doing like a hopeless rescue speed run. So I've done that challenge in 25 hours, I think, or something like that. Or maybe it was a day and a half. I don't remember if that's right. But I did pretty well at it. 25 hours may actually be what the record is by Haru. I don't know. Let's try to move as fast as possible. And of course we're going against the wind, which means we can move at like 1 mile per hour. That's nice. So then we'll check the car out, I think, and then we'll keep going. Barn is going to be just on the other side of this bridge. Just have to snake through the fence. Glove box contain anything? No. Never does. Oh no, this is Heartbreak Bridge. I called the other one Heartbreak Bridge earlier in the episode, so that is wrong. I guess the other one probably doesn't have a name at this point. And it gets a little bit boring walking against this wind. It takes forever. Okay, see the barn right there? I should just be able to shoot right through the gap here in the fence and just make a beeline for the farm, because I'm already freezing and gonna start losing a lot of condition. Weather's not that good. It's pretty windy. Much better than the alternative of facing a blizzard, but I don't know, this wind seems to be picking up some. It could be that it's building up to a blizzard. By the way, this barn can be quite hard to find in the dark, so be very careful of that. It's not even that visible on the horizon right now. I just remembered I had these work boots sitting in inventory, so I'm going to go ahead and put those on. sort of run to prevent us from losing a ton of condition here. Helps us cut through that wind a little bit easier, helps us move faster. Boy, it does look like the weather is degrading. Good thing I'm this close to the barn, otherwise I'd be in trouble, and my frostbite risk is getting quite high now. 72%. Yeah, I really could not spend more than another minute or two outdoors. Frostbite is like one of the worst things that can happen to you because you lose permanently, I think, about 10% condition, and you can never get it back in the entire run. What you have to do to fight it is to find some mittens and a toque, and I have the toque, so I'm sort of half protected against it right now. One location's protected, one extremity. Ah, there's the hacksaw. I have that. And sometimes you'll find something in these drawers. It's more common in non-interloper runs, but you can sometimes find a pry bar or something in there. Check the corpse, even though there's very low chance of finding something. And let's get in the truck now and warm up. Maybe sleep for a while. Oh, a stem, wow. Maybe sleep for a while here. Nah, I think we're gonna check the upstairs first. Oh, I didn't see the whetstone here. Let's finish searching this out. Let's go upstairs. See how many of these lockers we can actually open. Yep, nothing in those, that figures. Yeah, it looks like all of them. Oh no, the one is locked, the one on the right. Let's get over here and see if the hammer is here, because this is that's a very often, that's a possible spawn for the heavy hammer. Check out these drawers. And then we'll go downstairs and get warmed up. Sleep us a hour or two in the truck. It's a very good tactic for this area, even though it will usually be below freezing when you first come in here. If you get in that truck and sleep, you'll be almost guaranteed to be above freezing. But for this run, I'm going to do a fire. As you can probably tell, I'm dubbing the audio over this. I played this several days ago first, and so remembering every step that you take is pretty hard. I'll try to do better in the future about recording at the same time as I'm playing, but I really wanted to focus on this run so that I could do the best possible for you guys. I'm going to melt some water here, that's what I forgot. Or melt snow and then boil it. Usually like to do about a gallon, but 0.8 is pretty good too. It all depends on how much fire time you have. About 2 hours is what you need for a gallon. And we're going to sit here and we're going to cook some of this stuff, starting with the coffee. Try to really raise that cooking skill so we can get leveled up fast. I mean, if you get the cooking skill leveled up high enough, your risk of intestinal parasites is non-existent. It goes away completely. But I think you have to reach at least level 4, maybe level 5 for that to happen. So you're probably going to have to make at least day 50, which is quite improbable in this mode. Even if you're a skilled player, it would be tough to reach day 50 in Interloper. So continue cooking this coffee. It did turn into a blizzard outside. I can see the question marks. Had a few more sticks to finish off my cooking here. Keep going. Cooking can be a bit monotonous, and I may skip over this part. But I want to go ahead and have all the coffee available to me. You know, I always say I'm going to save that, but I never end up doing it. I always use it up within a few days of cooking it. And usually you only get 2 or 3 tins maximum in Interloper in the entire world. Okay, so pretty much done with this fire. I'm gonna drink this soda, boost both thirst and hunger at the same time, and then top it off with the water. I don't have that much water left though, but it's good for now. Only 0.45 gallons. It'll hold me easily through tomorrow. So we're just going to sleep in the truck because that's the only place you can sleep in the barn. Maybe we'll find a bedroll this run. That would be nice. Bedroll gives you a lot of freedom while you're traveling, but it's very difficult to find, and it's only in a couple of locations. You can find it in the camp office sometimes. There's also a spawn for it in Timberwolf Mountain, which is difficult to reach, and there's one, I think, in a cave in Pleasant Valley maybe, but I don't remember where that one is. So let's finish sleeping here. Oh, the blizzard is still going. That is not good. That's some bad news. So eat the dusty dog food. Dusty. Would you really care that much if the can was dusty? I mean, come on. Okay, fully rested, but I have to replenish my thirst, and that's going to take about 0.2 gallons, slightly less. And now we're just going to pass time and take the condition hit, get into the daylight here, and then if you cancel it, you can sleep. But I think I just passed straight into the morning here. Yeah, 13 hours of daylight. The blizzard is finally cleared, and we're gonna be on our way to see, I guess we're going to the Crossroads area. There's a few buildings there you can check, and then after that there's an office building. There's 2 houses that are usually there. Beyond that, and past that to the north, is the path that leads you to Coastal Highway, and that's where we're headed in a hurry. Do not want to spend a lot of time in Pleasant Valley early on. Although I could potentially do it because my clothing set is okay, it's not bad. But I practically never do that. I practically never stay in Pleasant Valley early. Let's pair these long johns, or thermal underwear. There is long johns in the game. I think they're better than the thermal underwear. Wool long johns, but they're not an Interloper at all. And I've totally used up all my cloth now, and there's no cloth available in the barn. So let's go ahead and head on, get back on the highway and head north. The chance of encountering a wolf here is pretty low. Sometimes there will be one close enough to the barn to spot you, but it's pretty unusual. The bear is more common, I think. but the bear is usually easier to evade. So I wanted to check those crates out and make sure nothing was hiding in there. Let's collect some more sticks. One of the best ways to spot the highway is look for the power lines. Ah, we got lots of old men's beards lichen laying here, hanging here. So let's collect all of that. There's another piece on this tree. And there's a few pieces back on this one too. Go ahead and grab those. And we will have quite a lot of it now. I think we've got at least 6. I'm not sure if we have more than that. It's the last, no, that's the last stick in the pile. Okay. There are like 3 fir limbs back there. That's be a good spot to collect wood if I had the ability. Okay, so let's make it up to the highway and head north. Probably almost already freezing. I didn't look at the temperature. Yeah, we're about 4/5 of the way down. Okay, Contemplation Bridge. That may have been the one that I passed under before. I'm not sure. So my early game condition is quite good. 86% there's no problem there really. By slingshotting the condition, you gain pretty much all of it back that you lose during the day, unless you get wolf attacked or get caught in a blizzard or something. But avoiding any major negative scenario, you should remain pretty consistent with your condition. So you have to be quite careful about how far you travel when it's cold. Especially when you have the frostbite risk. That goes up a lot faster than hypothermia. And it's starting to snow a little bit. Shouldn't be too bad. Come on, get up to the crossroads here. There's a couple of buildings I can enter here. One's like a kind of a store, but one of these buildings tends to have nothing in it, and the other one can sometimes have stuff. Ah, this stale beef jerky. Oh, mittens, that's great. Where are those? Even though they're only 25%, we can repair that. I don't think there's anything else here. Okay, so let's check out this little store here. Yeah, rural store. Herbal tea, yeah. So both of these buildings did have something good. Yeah, matches. Second box of matches. And another sewing kit. It's pretty good for these buildings. Yeah, Pleasant Valley this run is what yielded more loot than is normal, I believe. Okay, let's go ahead and load the outdoors, man. Okay, we're gonna cross over the bridge and there's 2 houses we can explore. One on the right side and one on the left. One of them's sort of a office looking building, which is where I'm about to head right now. The Canadian flag hanging there. We have any meat this time. Yes, moldy rabbit. Doesn't matter too much if it's low condition because you can cook it back up to, you know, at least 60% most of the time. Salty crackers, that's pretty good. Anything in the rest of these cabinets? Nope. No coffee in the microwave. That's sad. Nothing in the oven. Now I'll see if we can find any clothes in these drawers. There's antiseptic and a bandage. That's really good. Still another half gallon of water from the toilet. This candy bar down there. Yeah, I get that. I guess we're about done here. Make sure and look and see that there's not anything I missed. We need to repair these mittens right away. And of course, fail. Harvest the curtain. Curtains are the best source of cloth by far. You never want to break down your clothes because I think it's at least twice as slow to break down your clothes. So unless you have to, unless all the curtains have been harvested out of the buildings, I can't believe how many times I'm failing this. Oh my good grief. Okay. Finally we got a little extra condition on those to 89%. That's more than I expected, I guess, but forget the small clothing items, they repair a lot with one action. Now we're gonna get out of this house and go to the one across the street. Be aware that running into a wolf is possible. Actually, no, we'll do that. We'll save that for the next episode. Let's get the game saved here, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.